So as the scale of 40k increased, so too did the Space Marine dreadnoughts. Greetings everyone, I am Sister Lilia and welcome to my armory. So today we're taking a look at the redemptor dreadnought. It isn't quite 7 years old, but it's close enough. It'll be that in a few months. So, I can't find my normal my small box noughts, which is unfortunate because they would be very useful right about now. But yes, in 2017, GW launched the revamped Space Marine range in the form of the Primaris range. Now, a lot of that range was pretty rough. Some stuff in that range, like the repulsor tank, was great. The Primaris Marines themselves, some of them were pretty average. Some looked pretty decent. But one big thing that happened with the Space Marines becoming bigger is the things that supported them needed to become bigger as well, such as the dreadnoughts. Now, if I haven't got a Space Marine dreadnought available immediately, but I was able to find a Chaos Hellbrute, which is puny next to it. Like, it's very much a case of never talk to me or my never talk to me or my son again kind of scaling. Like he's tiny. Like we compare him next to one of the Space Marine Heroes Marines, and it's much smaller than what it used to be. Because your Space Marine dreadnoughts used to be, well, shorter than this. Well, this is actually about the same size. The guard caught up. Yes, like Space Marine dreadnoughts used to get kind of shadowed by the Sister of Battle equivalent. That's kind of enough comparisons, really. Like, the thing I like about this is it's kind of the right size to actually be facing a Carnifex face to face, which is not something I can say about the old one. Like, it might have faced the metal Carnifex face to face, but the plastic Carnifex was kind of towering over it. And like in the art, we see these things. We see the classic dreadnoughts facing Carnifexes on equal stature. So yeah, this kit, as you can see, I've deliberately left the weapons loose. Now, that is because I wasn't expecting going in, and I've left that loose because it'll make it easier to paint in here. But if we take the pauldron off, the arms don't actually have to be glued in on this. Now, GW did make, at the same time as they put this one out, they did make a generic version that came with just the assault cannon and, I believe, flamer. But that's been a while. But that hasn't been in production since, I think, the pandemic, so I never ended up getting one. Now, the modularity doesn't stop on that arm. You can basically just slot in. If you build it right, you can just kind of slot in the weapon as you need it, which is the modularity I like from GW. The classic dreadnought, you had to glue the weapons on because they wouldn't stay on otherwise. Now the pauldron doesn't want to stay on, but I'm deliberately leaving them unglued so that so the arms can be painted properly. Because right now the weather's been kind of awful, so I haven't been able to prime this thing or hit it with at least a layer of paint. Like, I'm not sold on the design of the plasma. The design of the plasma cannon feels a bit Tau-ish. And I mean, given how, Primaris stuff can be seen as tech heresy, that is probably not too big of a surprise. Now, the other weapon it's got is, I believe, called a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. It's a decent looking piece of work. And you've got, of course, the flamer, which now I injured my finger, so hence the having that. Yeah, you've got little flame detail, you've got the hoses. The leftovers that I haven't put on there, there's an alternative hatch plate, there's 3 purity seals, and an alternative for the storm bolters in little missile battery things. As kind of an introduction, as kind of the start of the Space Marine Dreadnought redesigns, I feel this kit is lacking. Not in terms of stature, but in terms of, well, design language. The pouldrons don't feel Space Marine Dreadnought, and GW seem to have agreed for when they did the Ballistas Dreadnought last year, or released it last year. They probably designed it about the time they released this thing, after seeing kind of the feedback to this thing, I suspect. But yeah, the shoulders don't read really as Dreadnought. Not to me. But also its options are kind of... Sure, it's nice that I can swap out the options it's got, but I feel like it needed more. Like, you look at the more recent Contemptor release, and it's got so many more options. Like, we've got melter weapons, we've got missile launchers, las cannons, we've got the assault cannon, we've got twin-linked las, I might have said las already, autocannons, heavy bolters. I think there might even be the twin heavy flamer loadout option. And like, yeah, I know that's building on the heresy, but like, at the same time, this thing's over $100 retail. Now, I didn't pay that much. I ended up getting this thing through the Imperium magazine, so I think I paid about half price. But that doesn't change the fact that this thing is still expensive and has limited options. Now, don't get me wrong, the 2 options it comes with are pretty decent. You've got a high-strength plasma cannon or kind of mid-ground strength assault cannon. But that's kind of not enough. Again, to draw back to the Contemptor Dreadnought, it's got so many more options than this thing. And like, GW have gone ahead and released 2 more Dreadnought versions. We've got the dedicated Brutalis Dreadnought, which is essentially the Primaris take on the Ironclad, or at least that's how it feels. Now, did I glue that properly? No, I didn't. It's just loose. And you've got the Ballistas. Now, the Ballistas that they released has 1 loadout, which is kind of lousy. Like, even the classic Boxnaught had more loadouts on the kit. Like, you could give it an arm, you could give it an assault cannon or a las cannon or a missile launcher, or swap out the arm for a missile launcher. This, you basically see what you've got. Like, we've got the option, we've got the Gatling gun and we've got the flamer. So you get 2 flavors of Gatling gun, or a plasma and a flamer, and it's like, that's not very much. Now, the kit itself is decent, I'm not going to deny that, but I feel like it needs more. And that more shouldn't be sold to us separately. It should be on the sprue. Also, I think the plasma cannon looks better if you chop off that bit there and just kind of leave it there, or change the chamber around so that it's got it's actually just plonk, and yeah, like, and the top doesn't even have alternative options for the missiles. Yeah, at least the storm bolter looks decent. At least the assault cannon looks decent. But the plasma, it looks tau. That looks like a tau ion weapon. It doesn't look right. Like I've said, stuff from this generation kind of looked weird. And like, this was very much an early design. But It's an early design that you pay a premium for, and it doesn't feel like a premium product. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And what are your thoughts on this kit? Do you think it's worth the price tag? Do you think it's too expensive for what you get? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.